Are we leveling up right now?
We can do a level up.
Cool. Are we going to level up on camera?
We don't have to. Do you want to? Do you want to keep it on there?
More information is better for me, always.
Sure.
Worst comes to worst, we say something funny. We need 3 PHBs?
I have a PHB. Do you have?
I have another one here too.
So there's 2 PHBs. You don't really need much.
I need to know what the feats are. It's a matter of me deciding whether or not to get a feat or to get an attribute.
Yeah, you have a sense of where you are. You have no idea how to deal with the fact that you're a paladin without a god. Other than now you know there are no gods here, apparently.
Apparently.
But there are primordials, which seem similar, and also dragons, which also are of a power. There's no way to find these gods. Gods don't exist here. They haven't for millennia. This is a world ruled purely by the primordials, and that is the way it is meant to be. However, it's possible that primordials could gift you powers, if you pledge yourself to them. Though if they did, it would probably be nothing like what you had as a paladin. It wouldn't replicate that, but it would be chaotic magic. It would not be similar. Like your spell choices would not be paladin spell choices.
Right.
Mechanically, the way it would generally work, depending on which one you found, it would be tied to an actual school or of magic, depending on the realms that these primordials connected to, which is not quite the same way as gods connect to things. They're much more visceral. They're more tied to ideas and not order. So that's a terrifying but a potential thing that you could try to do.
Right.
He does mention the dragons, and the dragons have a significant power. They do have servants. It would play out like that. And the problem with that is you may get similar powers, but you would be like a slave essentially.
Yeah.
You would be beholden to the dragons.
The way I imagine it currently playing out is he wouldn't immediately forsake his god. Mm-hmm. The idea of pledging himself to some other power would be anathema.
Sure.
But mechanically, if he continues to gain levels while here, they'd probably be levels in fighter.
Sure. Okay.
At that point, but the longer he goes without any kind of like guidance from his deity, he's going to become potentially unsettled by the things he's doing, and he might slowly erode to the point where he needs some kind of either support or to find some other means of controlling himself, or just giving into it and becoming a barbarian.
And we'll have this conversation. I just want to give you an idea, since you're leveling your character and planning your character, and you've been put in a very unfair situation from a player's perspective. I want to give you some insight as to narratively what your options are and mechanically how it would play out. Mechanically how it would play out, if you sought out primordials, you would definitely be a very different character that would function much like a paladin. You would just not have paladin spells.
Right.
And it would be kind of a crazy story. You would probably get something similar serving the dragons, but I don't think that's something you would actually want to do. But I don't know your character.
I'm curious because this all sounds like a lot of going off and specifically seeking out power for my character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to derail.
Sure, you don't have to.
Yeah, unless it becomes some serious issue, it'd probably be fine being a fighter.
I'm just trying to figure out how we could do you as a fighter. Like, way that you would do, like, let's say we're playing older edition, 2nd edition, for example. If you're playing a paladin and somehow lost your ability to be a paladin because you weren't adhering to your alignment, or whatever, you would revert to fighter, which was more of a hit, because basically a paladin in 2nd edition is just a much better fighter. The problem with having you fully revert to fighter and say, hey, make 3 levels of fighter and just say you're a 4th level fighter is it would be weird if you reverted to paladin.
Right.
So maybe if you're just going to take a level in fighter or contemplating taking a 1st level in fighter, that might make more sense.
Yeah.
That would make more sense for you to do that. But I don't like the idea of, I like the narrative idea of doing this to you, but I don't like necessarily handicapping you.
I'll take a 4th level in paladin because the only thing that paladins get at 4th level is the ability score improvement that everyone gets.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do that, and then we'll see how the next lead up to the level up happens.
I have completed my level up. You can either do 1 ability score by 2 or 2 ability scores by 1.
What did you do?
I took 2 by 1. I bumped my charisma up to 20. and I bumped my wisdom up to 12, thereby giving me a +1 in perception. The spells I took, the new cantrip is Acid Splash, which is not a ranged spell attack, and Ice Knife, which is a ranged spell attack.
I'm picking a feat.
Cool. I like that.
Athlete, observant, sharpshooter, or lucky. Do you have any
Oh, you have
input?
no... I think it comes down to... It depends on more of your conception of where you want to go with your character from this point forward. If obviously you've been athletic, you've been definitely wanting to jump on and climb things a lot.
And I like that because no one else in the group is.
I think I like that better than sharpshooter. Sharpshooter makes sense. Obviously, you're a ranged combat character, but it doesn't seem like your crossbow and your ranged attack is really core to your personality, your character. Just like I'll shoot at it from a distance because this is a safe place to shoot. Versus, you've definitely been like excited about doing athletic stuff, so it feels like that one. Wow, yeah, those are all really they all feel pretty much in line with your character.
I visualize him in the confines of this group. Like, he's definitely a skulker, but in the confines of this group, I think he's going to be more of a hero. Like, he's going to be trying to protect these two more and being able to
A swashbuckler.
jump and run around and do stuff like that. I think I'm going to go with athlete because that will give me bonuses to doing stupid things that I think I'm going to be trying to do a lot.
Okay.
Considering at the end of the last session, so you've said that out of character and off camera and stuff like that the reason that Corsic became a paladin is because he's got like dark thoughts and shit like that, and the goddess of peace is what kept him calm. And at the end of the last session, Corsic, who is devoid of his goddess of peace, pulls out his lute and starts playing a calming ditty to help calm his nerves. So is that how does Corsic go into whatever the hell you're going to make there into a fighter and lean into his dark desires, or does he?
That was the idea behind potentially becoming a barbarian.
Yeah.
Okay, or does he go the other way and he becomes a bard because music is the only other thing that soothes the giant's soul? I think I lost the metaphor.
You did, but that's fine.
It's fine. It's an interesting idea.
I like the bard idea because it does seem like that's the way you've been actually leaning. Though, like that is the way. Like you're right. Like this session has very much you trying to.
Let me see what kind of bards there are.
Don't forget the Xanathar. Yeah, you could also just be a barbarian who likes songs.
Yeah, you don't have to. Clearly, the musical thing is not tied to bard, but bard only because a bard can kind of fill the same role as a paladin,
right?
From a support role. And I'm tempted. I am tempted if you were going to really redefine your character. And I hate bards, but they're really good. Like this is probably the best bard story I've ever heard for a character, other than I'm a traveling minstrel who likes to fuck the women and do the dances and whatever. So I mean, I would allow like a restructuring of your character if this is the path you want to take. If it's like a temporary thing, then maybe it doesn't make sense to restructure your whole class.
What if you did it sliding? Like, the longer that we are here, the more stuff he can change. He can kind of retrofit. Like right now, he's still, instead of changing everything now.
Well, the main thing is, like, right now, he is a completely neutered character. So he basically has no benefit to the party. He's way weaker than any of you guys.
I still have my combat abilities,
which is
that's it.
Fine.
So the bard colleges that are in Xanathar is the College of Swords, where you become one of the blades.
Right.
The College of Whispers, which is you become like a bard rogue.
Is there a College of Paladins?
In base one, it's College of Lore and College of Valor.
There's also College of Glamour.
Yeah, and that's super silly.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's super silly, and also
I played it super silly.
That's not viable, because College of Glamour is tied to the Feywild.
That is true, but I mean, Mantle of Inspiration and Throwing Performance.
It's not viable for a similar reason that Paladin and Cleric is not viable.
But it deals with Deva and Fey, isn't it? That's different. That's I guess.
Dude, this is not different at all. The Fey is different, but the Fey are also extremely rare here. So,
all right. Well, you get the College of Swords. It gives you, if you want to maintain your fighting prowess.
College of Valor does it as well.
This does give you bonus proficiencies and fighting styles.
The College of Sword is
6th level gives you an extra attack.
The difference between College of Swords and College of Valor is about supporting people in battle. The College of Swords is about being a sword master.
Right.
I mean, the that makes the bard more of a combat bard.
Yeah, College of Valor gives you an extra attack, which is something a paladin picks up eventually anyway, but also allows you to cast spells while still making attacks in combat. So it allows you to still use your magic.
Yeah. No, this seems to focus more on gaining proficiency, like dueling, 2-weapon fighting.
Mm-hmm.
You get flourishes, extra attacks.
You express yourself through combat.
Yeah.
Instead of through music, which is not quite. You're definitely still musical. That's if you want to go that route. So you don't.
Yeah.
You know what the situations are.
Yeah.
That's if you did want to go bard, and if that's the way you want to go.
Well, I'm picking paladin this level.
Okay,
and
so you're doing paladin.
For the next level, I'll consider these things and see where
the story
goes.
It was a good idea, Pancho.
I have them.
It was
It was
Pancho. I did not. I had not considered that as part of his character journey an option. I'd considered it as a class that requires charisma, since I have my highest stat is charisma currently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, it's you are at the diverging path of Corsic Graves. Does he lean into the darkness and become a whirling dervish of hate and probably later remorse and maybe cutting himself sometimes, or does he become a bastion of inner peace?
Yeah. Well, let's see what paths remain untaken.
No, roads. Roads are not traveled, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe that one.
All right, you're taking the ability score improvement.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good.
It's the main reason you're doing
putting
that,
2
right?
points of strength, both because it opens up the ability to actually take fighter if I end up going that route, because I only had a 12 strength, but it also gives me a +2 modifier to most of my combat abilities, since it looks like I'm going to be relying on those for a while.
The other reason I was thinking Bard is because potentially that gives you, I don't know how multiclassing works, if you get skill bonuses, skill proficiencies, or stuff like that, but
You get a little bit.
because you were already proficient in the nice charisma skills, I took the mean charisma skills, and now if you are no longer being the nice guy, if it's like, oh, I'm gruff and angry all the time, but hey, why don't you come hang out with me? I have some pretty candy here for you. Like, and I'm the guy who's like nice, but I intimidate and shit. Like, that's weird.
So you're fucking up Pancho's character, Andrew.
Ruining everything. I'm going to roll a d10.
Just for
for
fun?
health?
For my health.
Oh, just for fun?
It's a 5. It's one less than it would have been.
Yeah.